Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have always wanted to make a video that really helps you as a student thrive successfully. I have what is considered a 4.0 GPA, and I would like to share with you the best tips that I have for you to succeed, not just as an online student, but also for someone who attends WGU. The first thing that I highly recommend, don't ignore any quizzes or unit tests of your course material. Use them to your advantage. They really help you to synthesize and really retain the information that you've kind of learned, especially if it's heavy and quite a lot. Try and aim for an 80% or higher. Whenever you're talking with your instructors, they're always going to go back to see if you've taken all the quizzes or you've done the unit tests, and they're going to look at your score and see if you have an 80% or higher. You can retake those quizzes and unit tests, so feel free to do so if you haven't gotten above an 80% kind of score. Use every resource, no matter what it is, a course gives you. This can be like interactive notebooks, notes, any cohort kind of notes that they attach for you, pre-recorded videos, online events, task guides, checklists, any assessment strategies that they have for you as well. Use them all. And I highly recommend that you do this because every course can be different as to what they will provide for you. Sometimes they'll provide you a lot and they'll go the extra mile, and sometimes they really won't. So you really just have to use every little bit. If you were in a class that didn't have a lot of resources, I'm sure you would use every little resource to your advantage. And the same goes for classes that go above and beyond. So I really use all of the resources, especially when I'm like really studying for the OA, especially, when I have hard concepts that I don't quite understand. Really use the resources that they give you. It's so important, it's so vital, and it'll really benefit you. Also really use the WGU Success Center. I've actually made a video about this. I'll link it down below and above, but also use any resources as well. They've got lots of different kind of live events for math, writing, lots of different stuff for your career as well. They can really help you achieve necessary skills like time management, reducing stress. When you're going through an OA, here's some strategies for you to use. They also have academic coaches. This is something new, and that's also I've mentioned in the video, and a library to kind of further assess you. So if you're trying to look for a particular strategy or maybe a note template, you can use the library to further assist you. Have an action plan on day one. This is something that I always do whenever I tackle a new course. I always try and get ahead with the planning and everything. And I think about how long it will take me to complete that course. I actually use kind of like a little checklist. When I start for the first day, it helps me make sure that I go through the course material, the events, the course tips, the announcements. Usually those two will have like an instructional support page or a roadmap that'll contain all of the course's resources that I mentioned that you should highly use. I also use a study plan because this helps me as well. And I try and be consistent. So I always make sure that I usually take my assessments early morning on the test day. I will tackle the next course that same day because it is a lot of stuff to kind of look through and everything with the pacing guides, the task checklist, the OA study strategies, whatever. So it's a lot of material to kind of get through. And I normally don't start looking at material or taking notes until like the next day. So I like to provide myself with a little bit of spare time to kind of look through everything and just kind of plan and be consistent with it. Make sure you have people rooting for you. It's so important, not just your mentor or your instructor. Find people out there for you, whether you have people in person or maybe it's social media. WGU does have a lot of support groups, especially on Facebook. Reach out to one of them. You can also learn about courses and any tasks you have to complete this way. I also use that to my advantage. I kind of like to help people out if they have questions or anything, and we all celebrate each other's success, which I love. So make sure you have some sort of support system. I always inform my family and friends what I'm doing, and that kind of allows me to have some sort of accountability as well. So having a support network is crucial to your success here. Study halls are like course study sessions, I would say. They have instructors on standby. They typically last a couple of hours. I've seen some that have lasted like for 5 hours. You don't have to stay there the whole time. You can meet up with online friends if you're in a similar class, or to kind of form your own kind of study group. Have like a little breakout room. Sometimes study halls will actually have little small groups where that you can actually have a breakout session. You can also use the Remind app. It's so crucial to use that app, especially when contacting your mentor, but also so that you can meet up with students or other people who are in a similar class to you and you can study with them. It's also good to use a study hall if, for example, you don't do well to study by yourself and you actually need some sort of accountability, a way to track and manage your procrastination. So if you want to use a study hall, typically every course kind of has them, but double check with your instructor just to make sure if you can't find it. It's also important to manage your time effectively. Prioritize your coursework and yourself. I have found that if I ignore my mental or physical health, I have higher chances and more at risk for burnout. And that is something that you don't want, especially if you attend WGU. So manage your time effectively. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overload yourself. If you're a part-time student, I think it's like up to 12 hours a week. If you're a full-time student, I think it is more than that. WGU always requires that you have at least 20 hours a week. I don't do so much, and I'm still fine. I think I stay like above 15 to 20 hours a week, and that's enough for me, to be quite honest. I usually have an hour or more sessions in the morning and in the afternoon, but of course, do what works best for you. Keep track of your obligations, stay organized, take study breaks often. I know I do whenever I have study sessions, and if it's like 2 hours or something. And I've also found that if you unplug more, you're more likely to have a productive kind of life, and you're able to stay true to yourself, and you're able to attend to your physical and mental needs. So you really want to do all these things just to kind of balance your life, because if you don't, then you will struggle, especially at WGU. This is something that I've kind of had to learn to do, because I'm typically not one to ask for help because I'm very independent, but I have reaped the benefits from it. So reach out to your instructor, reach out to your mentor, let them know of your plan for each course. I went through a very difficult course this past term, and I did not know what to do. So I finally reached out to my instructor, and it just made it so much better. Like I was really able to pass my OA because of it. Also, kind of like establishing a study routine, especially if you're going on vacation, you're taking off for a few days, or you've got some sort of event, or the holiday season is coming up, like for example, um, try and get ahead. Every bit of time is really valued. I can't say this enough. Every little moment matters. Every little bit of time that you have matters. And this really helps because if life kind of throws you a situation that you just weren't expecting, you were able to get ahead of the game in order to tackle whatever it is that you need to do. So getting ahead is so important, but make sure you use a planner, set yourself up for that success. Having confidence is also something that I have truly treasured as a WGU student, especially. So having quotes is important to me. If you are also like me, you should reward yourself for achieving your goals, whether that's big or that's small. Whether that's you barely pass the OA, still take it, because you know what? It's a win. Celebrate your accomplishments. Speak and treat yourself with kindness. And that goes for your mental and physical health needs as well. Before every OA, I kind of have like a little dance session to get all the jittery nerves out, but I'm usually pretty confident throughout because I always say to myself, I'm going to pass, I'm going to pass. Having confidence just really helps you, not just as a college student, but also for life. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching with me and being a part. I really hope this is helpful for you to have how my best tips for you to study and succeed at WGU. If you have any questions, just leave it down below. I hope you all have a great day and see y'all again soon. Bye, guys.